Good morning. Hopefully you guys are doing well in this chilly November. Here we go. We are going to continue with multiplication, but today we're going to do problem-solving multi-step multiplication problems. The essential question: when can you use the draw a diagram strategy to solve multi-step multiplication problems? All right, so basically, we're going to be drawing a lot of pictures today. They can be simple as a block array to help us solve these problems. You might need crayons today. You're going to need a pencil, and you definitely need problem solving lesson 2.9. Here we go. Unlock the problem. At the Sea Park, one section of the stadium has 9 rows of 18 seats in each row. In the center of each of the first 6 rows, 8 seats are in the splash zone. How many seats are not in the splash zone? Use the graphic organizer to help you solve the problem. The graphic organizer they're talking about is just right here on the page. So here we go. Let's see what we can figure out. What do I need to find? I need to find the number of seats that are not in the splash zone. Are not. What information do I need to use? Well, there are 9 rows with how many seats? There are 9 rows with 18 seats. And there are 6 rows with 8 seats in the splash zone. How will I use this information? I can multiply to find both the numbers of seats in the section and the number of seats in the splash zone. All right, we're going to solve this problem now. Now, once again, Go Math does the work for us, and that's okay to start, but we have to get to the point where we're doing the work for ourselves. So it says, I drew a diagram of the section to show 9 rows of 18. Here's our 9 rows of 18. So this big, huge block array is our 9 times 18. In the center, I outlined a section to show 6 rows of 8 seats in the splash zone. So here's his 6 rows of 18. You still with me? So now we have 18 times 9 and 8 times 6. Okay, let's multiply these out. 18 times 9. Well, there's a couple ways we can do this. I'm going to use the standard multiplication, but you can use any of the ways we've already learned as well. But we're going to go, and it's 9 times 8. Yes, I'm waiting. What's the answer? 72. I'm going to write the 7 up here. And 9 times 1. 9 times 1 is 9, but then we have to add the 7 to that 9, which equals 16. So there's 162 seats total. Then we're going to come over here, and we've got 8 times 6. This is a basic fact, so you should have it memorized. What's the answer? 48. That would be right. Okay. Down here it says, what else do you need to do to solve this problem? Well, we have 162 seats and we have 48 seats. So what do we need to do to find all of these seats that fill in everything but the splash zone? If you said subtract, you were correct. We need to subtract 48 from 162. All right, turn the page. Okay, we're going to try another problem, and this time I need you to help me get going on it. So here we go. It says, try another problem. At the Sea Park, one section of the Shark Theater has 8 rows with 14 seats in each row. In the middle of the section, 4 rows of 6 seats are reserved. How many seats are not reserved? So what are we trying to find? If you're not sure, it's usually in the question. So underline the question, it'll help you out. Okay, write something in this box. What do we need to find? Did you write, I need to find how many seats are not reserved? Okay. What information do I need to use? Okay, well, we know that there are 8 rows with 14 seats, and that there are 4 rows with 6 seats. Whoops. Okay. How will we use this information? We're going to multiply. I'm just going to write multiply in that box. Multiply. What else are we going to need to do? If you wrote subtract, you nailed that one. Okay, so it's multiply, then subtract. All right, let's use this information to solve the problem. Now, I'm a very big person for drawing a picture to help me solve math. I am a very visual person, so we are going to be solving our math using visuals. So the first thing I'm going to draw is a block, a rectangular block. And this rectangular block is the 14 seats. Whoops. And the 8 rows. Go ahead and draw that. I'll wait for you. Okay, now it says in the middle of the section. So right here in the middle, there's a little tiny square box. And this square box right here, I'm going to color it in so it's very easy to see, are my reserved seats. So My reserved seats. Reserved. Not that you can see this because I wrote it in pencil. Reserved. And it is 6 seats in 4 rows. So now I have this really pretty picture. I need to use this information. So I'm going to go 14 times 8 and 6 times 4. Still with me? Eight times 4. Yes, I'm waiting on you again. 32. 8 times 1 plus 3. 8, 9, 10, 11. 112 seats. And this one over here, 6 times 4, 24. Okay. So we multiplied. Now what do we need to do? I'm pointing at it. Shout it out. What are we going to do? Subtract. You're right. So we're going to take 112 and we're going to subtract 24 and we're going to use our awesome skills of subtraction. And we have to regroup right off the bat. Here we go. Because I cannot take 4 away from 2. So I'm going to regroup and make it 12. 12 subtract 4 is 8. So now I have a 0. Can I take anything away from 0? Nope. So I need to regroup again, make it a 10. 10 subtract 2, 8. So how many seats are not reserved? 88 seats. Okay. Whew, we made it through. Easy peasy. Here we go. Last little part on this page. How did your diagram help you solve the problem? Well, my diagram helped me visualize the problem. How'd we do? You with me? You ready to start doing some of this on your own? I think you are. Turn the page. Okay, we are at the share and show. That means it is your turn. Your turn to show me what you've learned. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 problems on this page. Go ahead and pause your video. And remember, if you get stuck, you can unpause and I will be going through the problems. But I really want you to try them on your own. So pause. Okay, here we go. The seats of section A and B of the stadium are all taken for the last row. Section A has 8 rows of 14 seats each, and section B has 6 rows of 16 seats each. How many people are seated in section A and B for the last row? So once again, draw yourself a diagram. So for section A, you have how many rows? How many rows? 8. So we're going to draw 8 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And how many seats are in each row? 14. 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. Make this a nice block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Double checking my count because these are such tiny little squares and Miss Can't see them very well. And we're going to call this section A. And it has 14 and 8. Okay. Whew, made it through that one. Now we have section B, and section B has 6 and 16. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Whoops, drew too far on that one. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somehow I have an extra row. How's your drawing coming? Okay, section B. Oh, that's a lot of writing. My hand hurts. I'm going to rub it for a second. There we go. Okay, and this one has 16 and 6. Now, it says first draw and label a diagram. Next, find the number of seats in each section. So in each section, we had 14 times 8, and we had 16 times 6. Once again, I don't care how you get your answer for the multiplication, as long as you are doing it yourself. So 4 times 8, 32. 8 times 1 plus 3. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 112. 6 times 6, 36. 6 times 1 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 96. So it says, last find the total number of seats. 112, 96. 6 plus 2 is 8. 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 plus 1 is 2. 208 seats. There are blank people seated in sections A and B for the last show. 208. Okay, now we're going to go on to number 2. What if section A and B each had 7 rows? How many people would have been seated in section A and B? So we still have 14 seats and 16 seats, but now each row has 7. So we're going to go 14 times 7, 16 times 7, and solve it. 7 times 4, 28. 7 times 1, 7, 8, and 9. So 98 seats. 7 times 6, 42. 7 times 1 plus 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Add those together. 210 people. Okay, here we go. On to number 3. Brenda's vegetable garden has 13 rows with 8 plants in each row. Brenda plans to plant peppers in the first 2 rows and the last 2 rows of the garden. The rest of the rows will be tomatoes. How many tomato plants will Brenda plant? So once again, I like to draw a visual, and it doesn't have to be pretty. I'm just going to make myself a nice rectangular garden. Okay, and she has how many? 13 rows. And there's 8 plants in each row. So the first 2 plants, or 2 rows, are peppers, and the last 2 rows are peppers. So if I have 2, what else do I need to make 13? 4, because you have 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus what equals 13? 4 plus 9 equals 13. That means to find the answer of how many tomato plants, I need this 8 because there's still 8 plants in each row, and I need to times it or multiply it by 9 because that's how many plants are in the middle, how many rows are in the middle. So 8 times 9 is 72 tomato plants. Last one, and I left just enough room down here. There are 8 rows of 22 chairs set up for an award ceremony at the school. In each row, the 2 chairs on each end are reserved for students receiving awards. The rest of the chairs are for guests. How many chairs are for the guest? So once again, draw yourself this lovely rectangle block, and let's figure it out. There are 8 rows, and in each row there are 22 chairs. And it says in each row, 2 chairs on each end are reserved for students. So that means, once again, 2 of these and 2 of these. So that means that I need something right here in the middle that will fill in the 22. So 2, that makes that 20, 18. So this middle section right here, this is the guest seats. So let's figure it out. How many seats do we have in this middle section? 8 times 18. So over here in the corner, I'm going to go 18 times 8. 8 times 8, 64. 8 times 1, 8. But then you have 8 plus 6. We have 144 chairs for our guests. Okay, so one more time, those of you who have skipped ahead to the answers. 208 for number 1, 210 people for number 2, 72 tomato plants for number 3, and 144 chairs for number 4. All right, now We're going to turn the page. And you are on your own. Whoops, I didn't turn the page. On your own. So, if you read the instructions before I let you go, it says use the graph for 5 and 6. So that means 5 and 6 need to use this graph right here to help them solve it. So go ahead, pause the video, and if you get stuck, come back. I will be solving them. If you don't get stuck, just check your answers at the end. Ready? Let's begin. Really waiting for you to pause. Welcome back. Hopefully you were able to get it all done, but just in case you didn't, I'm here and I'm going to work through these. Here we go. Mr. Torres took his students to the dolphin show. Each row in the stadium had 11 seats. One adult sat at each end of a row, and each group of 4 students was seated between 2 adults. Mr. Torres sat by himself. How many adults were there? So kind of think of it if you were going on a school field trip and you were sitting in an auditorium. So first off, how many students does Mr. Torres have? He has 24 students. And how many rows or how many seats are in each row? There's 11 seats. Okay. So I am going to draw a picture for this, but it's not going to be a block array. I'm going to draw an X for every adult, and I'm going to draw a little dash for every student. Ready? Let's start counting. So we have an adult on our first row. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and another adult. How many seats do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 more students and another adult. Okay, that's a row of 11. Okay, so let's just do another row of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many students do I now have seated? Well, let's see. 4, 8, 12, 16. Okay, let's do another row. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. I have all the students and I have all the adults, but I also need Mr. Torres. And now it says, remember it says how many adults were there? Well, let's count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 10 adults. Whoops, spelled adults wrong. Man, that was a really complicated problem until we drew a picture. Okay, move on to the next one. Once again, if you came back because that first one was really hard, you can pause and try the next one on your own. Another stadium section has 24 rows of 10 seats each. Describe at least 2 ways Mrs. Allen's class can sit if an equal number of students sits in each row. So first off, ooh, that's a really bad drawing, but it's math. 24 and 10. So describe at least 2 different ways. Okay, well, how many does Miss Allen have? Miss Allen has 36 kids. So what are 2 different ways? Well, we could do 4 rows of 9 students. That would work, right? Because there's 24 rows, and I'm not fitting over 10 students or 10 seats because there's only 9 students in each row. That would leave 1 seat on the end of every row. Okay. So how about 6 rows of 6 students? Okay, I've come up with 2. Could I do 12 rows of 3 students? And there's more. So if your answer doesn't match mine, it might be that your answer is another one. As long as you equal 36 and you don't go over 9 students in a row, your answer is correct. Okay. Carol Ann and Liz each bought a toy fish. Carol's fish is 10 inches longer than Ann's fish. Liz's fish is 2 inches longer than twice the length of Ann's fish. Ann's fish is 12 inches long. Find the length of each toy fish. So we're going to need to know Carol, Ann, and Liz. Carol, Ann, and Liz. Okay. So let's see here. We have Carol, we have Ann, and we have Liz. Well, Carol's fish is 10 inches longer than Ann's fish. Liz's fish is 2 inches longer than twice the length of Ann's fish. Ann's fish is 12 inches long, so Ann's is 12 inches. Here, we'll write inches. So if I have 12 inches as my basis, so now let's read this one more time. Carol's fish is 10 inches longer than Ann's fish. So 12 plus 10 will tell us Carol's. So Carol's fish is 22 inches. Then we have Liz. Liz's fish is 2 inches longer than twice the length. So if I have 12, but I need it twice as many, so I've got 12 plus 12 plus 2. So 12 and 12 is 24, plus 2 more. Yep, 26 inches. Whew, that wasn't too bad. Alrighty, last 2 problems. Here we go. Evaluate relationships. Nell made a secret code. Each code word has 2 letters. Each word begins with a consonant and ends with a vowel. How many code words can Nell make with 3 consonants and 2 vowels? How many words can she make? Well, each code word has 2 letters, and she's got 3 consonants and 2 vowels. So 2 times 3. She can make 6 code words. Allie is building a patio. The patio will have 8 tiles in each of the 13 rows. She has already built the center section with 4 tiles in each row in each of the 7 rows. How many more tiles are needed to complete the patio? Show your work. Well, we have a lovely drawing of 13 rows, and 8. And she's already completed this middle section of 7 times 4. So if we go 13 times 8, and we do 7 times, whoops, not a line, 7 times 4, and then subtract them, we can find the answer. So what's 8 times 3? 24. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 2, that's 104. 7 times 4 is 28. So we subtract those two, and we get 76 tiles. And then it says, show your work. Well, here's my work, so I'm good. All right, you guys, on to the next page. And we are to the practice page. There are only 3 problems. I want you to do these 3 problems, and you will write your answers, including your own word problem, in the PowerPoint. Ready? Go ahead and get started.